please. It wasn't hard at all. So I was having a look at some of the questions you guys sent me for the Q&A, and I realised that I had a really good answer for one of the questions that I missed out. And instead of just missing it out, I thought I would answer it as a video. I've already told this story to quite a lot of people that I know, so if you're one of the people I know and you're watching it, then I'm sorry for saying it again, but I feel like the whole of my subscribers need to know. So the question is, what was the worst experience of your life? Now it's quite a depressing question and stuff, but it's not really a depressing story, it's actually quite a funny story, and you wouldn't actually believe that it's true because it's so, I don't even know what to call it, it's just so strange. So this worst experience of my life caused me to have a scar just in between my eyes. I don't think you could see it anymore really. It's just a massive scar in between my eyes. Yeah, so it's quite interesting. So the whole experience happened when I was about 5 years old. Me and my family and our family friends were going on a trip to France. So a few days into the trip, we decided to go to a water park, and this water park was pretty big. It had a kids section, which we just went straight to because obviously we were 5. So after a few minutes, being the thrill seeker that I am, I ran straight to the biggest slide in the kids section. Now to me, this slide was huge. It was massive. I thought I was really cool, so I decided to run up the steps and run onto the slide, meanwhile overtaking everyone that was beside me. So as I was running up the steps, I didn't actually realise that they were wet. And not only were they wet, but they were metal. Now, I don't know about you, but water and metal equals slippery and dangerous. But being the age I was, I obviously didn't know anything about that. And as I was overtaking all these people, just like, can't catch me, I slipped, and right here, in between my eyes, went straight into the corner of the metal step. I didn't have time to put my hands out in front of me, so literally my whole body weight just smacked straight into the corner of the metal step. So at this point, I think I blacked out for about 30 seconds, which wasn't fun when I woke up to discover that I couldn't see. And it wasn't because I was blind, but it was because my face was covered in blood. Looking back at it now, I feel so sorry for every single child that was around me at that point, because seeing a little child smack their face on metal steps and then coming back up looking like a zombie can be pretty traumatic. So yeah, I ended up not being able to see anything because of the blood, and I just couldn't see anything. I could just see a haze of just everything, and it was probably also to do with like how I'd hit my head, so I couldn't really see anyway because of that. But the bad thing was that the big slide was in the middle of the kids section, so I had to walk through the whole kids section to get to the side where my parents were. And it must have been something like out of a horror movie when I'm just walking through dripping with blood and all these kids are screaming like, "Ah!" Seeing me walking through, like not being able to see, like there were so many obstacles in the way. I remember there being so many things in the way. It felt like an hour until I found my parents. I was pushing kids out the way with my blood all over my face and all these obstacle things I had to climb over, and it was all in water as well, so the water was turning red. It was like something from Jaws. So after a long time, I finally saw a figure of someone running towards me who luckily was my mum, and I remember her lifting me up really quickly, and one of the security guards or assistant people came over and shouted at us to go to the first aid place. But obviously at this point, my mum's thinking, he's got a massive gash in his face. We need to take him to a hospital, not a little first aid place. But at the time, it was the best place to go, so we just thought, until we can get to an actual hospital, we'll go there. I don't think my mum had very high hopes of the first aid place because it didn't look that good, and the person in there wasn't the best either. So when my mum carried me in, we were greeted by this man. And straight away, I think my mum just wanted to turn away and go straight to the hospital because there was no way he was gonna help. But he came up to us and he said, "Put him on the bed. Put him on the bed." No offense to anyone who's French or anything, I just don't know how to do a French accent. So my mum reluctantly put me on the bed, and then all the old man did was put 4 butterfly stitches and 1 bandage on, and then all he said was, "That will heal in 6 weeks." And obviously my mum did not believe a word that came out of his mouth because it was so big that 4 butterfly stitches and a bandage were not going to heal it in 6 weeks. So straight after coming out of that first aid, we rushed to the hospital. But on our way there, something pretty bad was about to happen. So my mum was obviously panicking because I was still bleeding and I had a bandage on, and she wanted to get there quite quickly. And I don't think she was probably paying as much attention as she should have been to the road. And about halfway through the journey, we were driving down this quite narrow road, and as we were going down the road, a car door swung open out of nowhere. And the cause of this was that my mum hit the door and it just ripped off. And as soon as we hit the car, my mum was just like, shit, 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 shit. And because our car was pretty much ripped off as well, my mum decided to pull over, and, well, we were going to pull over anyway because we just ripped a man's door off. But yeah, we went to the side of this road and we were greeted by this lovely man whose door had just been ripped off. I don't speak French. I can't speak French. But I think he called my mum every single swear word under the sun in French. I think he started saying some English things like, what do you think you're doing? Like, all this kind of stuff. And all my mum was doing was she was just saying, I'm so sorry, I don't speak French, but I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. But this guy was taking none of it and he just kept swearing at her. Lucky for us though, we were with family friends whose mum could speak French fluently. Well, not fluently, I don't think it was fluently, but it was very well. So she was given the task to calm him down, whilst my mum made sure that I was alright, because I just had a massive gash in my face and we just ripped a guy's door off. It was just an awful day. So I think we waited around for about an hour, waiting for a different car to come so that we could get me to hospital. But after waiting an hour, the car finally came and I was dragged off to hospital. When we got to the hospital, I was put in a room with a man and a quite attractive assistant. I don't know why I remember that she was attractive because I was only 5, but I just remember it quite clearly. And unfortunately my mum wasn't allowed in the room, but I thought she was. So a hand grabbed my hand and I thought it was my mum. So I was in lots of pain and I squeezed her hand so tightly. I was only 5, so it probably wasn't that hard, but it felt very hard to me. So after the whole thing was done and the lights came on, I looked up and I realised it was the attractive assistant that was holding my hand. If you watch this, you're not, but if you watch it, then I'm so sorry for squeezing your hand so hard. You're probably there like, please, it wasn't hard at all. So yeah, I was then left with 4 stitches and the worst experience of my life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little story. I wanted to share it with everyone just so you get to know a bit more about me. Just about how I got this scar that you can't see. If you did enjoy it, feel free to share it around with your mates and all that kind of stuff. I hope you all have a great week and I'll see you in the next video. Hola.